Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Right, now you guys have seen the poll that I done, and of course the video that I done for Dillian Whyte's next opponent. And obviously I gave you guys 5 names, and you guys all chose who it is that you wanted Dillian Whyte to fight next. Now, the 2 names that Dillian Whyte has come out with were not on my list. My list consisted of Charr Miller, Deontay Wilder, Dominic Breazeale, Derek Chisora rematch, or Luis Ortiz. And Deontay Wilder was overwhelming with like 50% or whatever it was, with Charr Miller in second place, followed by Luis Ortiz, followed by Chisora, followed by Dominic Breazeale. But Dillian Whyte, he's looking at Maunel Charr and Tyson Fury. So we'll get straight into Dillian Whyte's statement. I want either Fury or Charr next. Charr has a WBA belt, so why not? It's a good fight, he's a great fighter and will come to fight. Whether he wants it is a different story. I do know, and it can be made. Then there's Fury. The guy's a joker and a mess. Mentally and physically, he's irrelevant right now. He's saying he wants to fight Wilder, but he's talking rubbish. That won't happen, and it makes no sense right now. Fury Whyte is a great fight. Let's get it done. It's more realistic, him fighting me. If he wants a real fight, we can get it on in December. It'll have the money and hype, and it'll be massive. It's a proper British dust-up, and will be a better fight than him against Wilder. Fury knows what happened the last time we shared a ring. I'm not going to talk about sparring stories, but he knows. I'd fight Tyson Fury tomorrow at the drop of a hat. Let's face Fury in December, then Joshua at Wembley, then Deontay Wilder to become the undisputed king. I could go in as world champion for the AJ rematch if I beat Charr first, which would make it huge. I will also want to fight Joshua. We have that rivalry. I know I will beat him when the time comes. So that's Dillian Whyte's statement. Right, so straight away with Deontay Wilder, obviously he's talking about fighting Fury, or I should say Tyson Fury's talking about fighting Deontay Wilder. In fact, Wilder's been very quiet over this whole situation. But Wilder versus Fury looks like this could be happening in December. Why? It's the age old, because Deontay Wilder has been cherry picking his entire career, and a leopard can't change his spots that quick. And Tyson Fury is a cherry pick. This is why the likes of Tony Bellew has been calling out Tyson Fury, because now is the perfect time to get Tyson Fury and beat him. He's very vulnerable right now. It's a concoction of time out of the ring. It's a concoction of the fact that he made or put on so much weight. I mean, talking massive amounts of weight, and has only just managed to shift it. So he's been abusing his body with not only bad food, kebabs, takeaways, copious amounts of alcohol, beer, whatever it is that he drinks, plus the fact that he's been sticking gear up his nose. So all that can't be good. And for the fact that he's been out of the ring for so long, and his first comeback fight was against Sefer Seferi, and now Francesco Pianeta in only, 2.5 weeks away, over in Belfast on the Carl Frampton undercard. So it's a good opportunity for anybody to get in there with Fury. He's very vulnerable right now. I know Tyson Fury will probably think otherwise, but we could see that against Seferi. If Seferi can land a few punches on Tyson, then Lord knows what it is that Wilder's going to do to him. Let's be perfectly honest. Of course, I would love to be wrong, and I'll be Team Fury all the way if this fight happens. Deontay Wilder has the perfect opportunity to fight Dillian Whyte. Eddie Hearn has put in an $8 million offer to fight him, and as of right now of making this video, Deontay Wilder has not responded to this. So he's doing all he can to avoid Dillian Whyte. He knows Dillian Whyte, once he lands on his whiskers, he's gone. It's as simple as that. And how do we know this? Or I should say, how does Dillian know this? Because Dillian has seen Deontay Wilder sparked out in sparring twice, sparked out cold. This is why Dillian, now he keeps on saying, Wilder doesn't like being tapped on the whiskers. Once he is, he's gone. So this is exactly where he's getting his confidence from. Now, moving on to Maunel Charr. Maunel Charr is WBA regular champion, Tyson Fury is the lineal champion. But with Maunel Charr being the WBA regular, Anthony Joshua the WBA super, the WBA want those 2 titles put together. So by Dillian beating Maunel Charr, he will then become WBA regular champion. It's a legitimate world title. Then it's a technical unification against Joshua. Now, of course, you don't need a WBA regular to be undisputed champion. He just needs WBC, but the WBA super and regular do need to come together at some point. So Dillian getting that belt, that gives him a little bit of a bigger split is probably the best way to put it when it comes to Joshua, because it is a legitimate unification, no matter how you look at it. But Manuel Charr, he's got a fight against Frezequendo. Oh my God, why Frezequendo? I'm not going to get into that whole thing. We know why he's there. He hasn't fought in, what, 3.5 years or whatever it is. But he's got to fight Frezequendo for this regular title, which is the whole reason why the WBA regular title is there, because of Frezequendo, over the fact that he had some shenanigans with the WBA originally, where he was accused of doping. Turned out that he wasn't. Even though he lost his last fight to Chagaev, he's still going to get a world title shot. But that belt's being passed around like a hot potato from Lucas Brown or Chagaev, then Lucas Brown, and then he was supposed to fight Frezequendo. Frezequendo got injured, as he always does, couldn't make the fight, and then Shannon Briggs tested dirty, and so. So Manuel Charr is now the WBA regular champion, and he must fight Frezequendo in a fight that I fully expect Manuel Charr to dominate him and destroy him. To be perfectly honest, Frezequendo was never that good anyway, in my opinion. Now, as I said, that's going to be happening over in Germany on the 29th of September. I believe it's going to be in Cologne or Cologne, depending on where you come from. If you're in Germany, it's Cologne. Outside of Germany, it's Cologne. So anyway, so by Dillian getting that fight with Manuel Charr, he then beats him. Again, that's a bit more of a split. And obviously a hell of a lot more interest, because it's two legitimate world champions, WBA regular, whether you consider it or not. It's factually a world title. So there's that one. Tyson Fury, again, he's a lineal champion. Again, this holds a bit of weight. You don't need lineal to become undisputed, but still, it carries a lot of weight to it. Much like the Ring Magazine does as well. Okay, while these titles are not really necessary to become undisputed, there's still a luring point. So Dillian, by getting hold of Tyson Fury, beats him. That fight becomes a lot more interesting with Joshua, right? I mean, for me, the fight's interesting with Joshua anyway. So with Tyson Fury, as I said, he's ballooned up and down in weight, and him fighting Wilder is not only stupid, but very, very dangerous for his own health. But also, him fighting Dillian Whyte is equally, or probably more so, against Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is more active than Wilder, and he's not just a one-trick pony like Wilder is. Wilder is a one-punch wonder, and that's pretty much it. He's pretty good on his feet, and he's not bad defensively. But for me, I think if Wilder can't land that right hand, then he loses fights. As simple as that. For me, Wilder is a decision loss waiting to happen, or a knockout waiting to happen. Dillian, he will grab hold of Tyson Fury and just bash him up as of right now. Now, if Tyson Fury can get back to, as I said before, if he can get not only Ferry done, which he has, then Pianetta, fine, and then maybe get another couple more in before he gets to that kind of level, then he might have more of a chance. But even then, we don't know how good Tyson Fury is going to be. And I know Tyson has a lot of fans. I'm a big fan of his too. I know I haven't been sounding like it lately, just that a lot of things that he's been saying have really been getting up my nose. So anyway, for me, I think if Tyson Fury took on Wilder or Whyte, he's a dead man walking. That's the only way I can see it. But he's got more of a chance against Wilder than he does Dillian Whyte. Wilder knows this, hence the reason why he's been avoiding Whyte for so long, and also why Tyson Fury, well, even though he can earn more money against Dillian Whyte, is going to rather take the option of Deontay Wilder. Why? Because he knows Wilder's a one-trick pony. So all he's got to do is neutralise that right hand, if possible, and maybe beat him on points, to jab him to death in a very boring fight, I would imagine. I can't see Tyson Fury knocking out Deontay Wilder, in all honesty. But I will be the first one jumping up and down with joy if it was to happen. But ultimately, I don't think it will. But as I said, him against Dillian Whyte, there's no way Tyson Fury wants Dillian Whyte. No chance in hell does he want Dillian Whyte. And as Dillian has already alluded to, last time that these two guys were in the ring together and sparring, quite clearly, Dillian bashed him up. So, but there again, it's much like Hughie Fury as well. Hughie Fury done all the talk about Dillian Whyte, and when the time come down to it to sign the contract, no, we're not really interested. That is what it is. But for now, I like the idea of either Manuel Charr or Tyson Fury. As I said, Manuel Charr for a WBA title, or Tyson Fury for the lineal. That makes his rematch with Joshua a whole lot more interesting. In an ideal scenario, it would be Deontay Wilder against Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte will go in there, take his jaw straight from his face, and take that title, bring it back to Britain for an undisputed clash with Joshua. Or if not, go fight Tyson Fury for the lineal as well. Go grab that belt, or that imaginary title anyway, of lineal, and then go fight Joshua again. So that's the ideal situation, but we don't live in an ideal world. So given the choice, I would much prefer him to take on Maunel Charr. It's an easier fight, to be honest. I think if you put Maunel Charr in with Tyson Fury, even Tyson Fury right now, I think Tyson Fury beats him. But anyway, all those things aside, I agree with Dillian. I think him fighting Maunel Charr would be the best option. It's a physical title for one, and it's a guaranteed shot at Joshua, even though he's pretty much guaranteed it anyway. And it makes it a lot more interesting. With lineal, you don't really, you're not really carrying a physical belt, are you? It's just a name that people give you as the best in the division. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens. So you drop your thoughts to Dillian Whyte's statement. Would you prefer him to take on Maunel Charr or Tyson Fury? Which one is easier in your mind? For me, I think him fighting Maunel Charr is a lot easier. It's a virtual guaranteed victory, I believe. With Tyson Fury, as much as I would pick Dillian Whyte to win, I'll probably be like 80% on Dillian Whyte doing it. But you know, Tyson does have that little bit of an unknown about him. If he can get back to anywhere near his previous form, it's a lot more interesting and a hell of a lot more tougher for Dillian. But we'll have to wait and see. So you drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.